We're live.
I think so. What's going on, Alex?
50 episodes, man.
I know.
50
Even
episodes.
even Knives and Things Tony, which is my buddy Anthony. But he goes by Tony and Anthony. I don't know. I called him Anthony the whole time. He goes by both. So I don't want to sound like his mom when I call him Anthony and him get mad, But yeah, even he says 50th. Holy hell. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that too. We
But
started this
that's
a
not
while ago.
technically our 50th episode together because you joined me on Sharp Talk before that. You're
Yeah,
actually our
we've been
last
on.
add-on.
Yes, we were on Sharp Talk several times. I mean, I think I was like a
Yeah.
guest once, and then I came in towards the end and did like 3 or 4 episodes, and
Yep.
then we created
Well,
this.
so the story is like, because I think this is a good episode to kind of like reminisce, right? Like,
Agreed.
why not?
Michael
So, like,
Morgan, what's up, man?
hey, what's up, Mike?
It's a blast, kind of from the past, also.
Yeah, man. Actually, like Ground Fog. Of course, we got Mr. Ozzy Mike. We got, I mean, everybody's in the house. So all of you
Mhm.
guys, Tony, Colby, Robo. God, I hate doing that, but I just felt
I
like
know. Meh.
this is the
That's it. We
earliest
said enough.
time. There's a few names, so let's say them all.
Right.
So welcome everybody.
Welcome.
So I think like the way we could start this off is like where this whole idea or kind of like routine that we have like began because in the beginning I started a podcast with Tom and it was called Sharp Talk, and it actually only started with me and Tom at first. And I approached him. I'm like, like we're always harassing each other on Messenger. Why don't we do like a podcast thing?
Right.
At that time, there's a few podcasts that were known for knives, not as many, and then like we were having fun. And then we got a couple crazy characters, we got Gerald and Super Steel Steve, which everybody knows Steve. So, we'll say that.
Exactly.
Gerald was great. Gerald is like one of the guys, I think, when it comes to sharpening and steels, like the guy's a genius. So that was his thing. We had Tom, who worked at like was it like outdoor supply store or something like that?
Yeah.
And
a retailer.
So he sold knives and then he went to trade shows and things like that. And he also was good he did a lot of steel testing and sent knives out for like HRC testing and things like that.
Yep.
So it was like a really like steel derivative type of thing, except for me. Because I was a collector. So like I had the more expensive knives of the crew, or I don't know, whatever they thought I did, but they thought like I was good with the collecting and knowing who's who and all the stupid names and blah, 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 and the models. And I shopped so much because I was, still like heavily into buying crap that I was on there all the time, like Blade HQ, like Knife Center, Blade Gallery. Like I just rotated through these knife shops all the time, and every time that they have a drop, I was on the mailer too. So like my inbox was just a massive mess of shit. And I want to buy everything that's first because it's going to be sold out, and it was just like crazy, man, just crazy. Right. So we had this podcast and we had a lot of shit to talk about, and it was fun. And then in the end, we had like a couple other people I added on. We had Bearded Gear, for a little bit. And he's got his own like personality thing. I don't think he was a great fit, but we all like Jake as a friend to some respect. He actually was local to me. Like I met him in person. Right. And so he's cool, just something different. And then we added you on because he was kind of flaky and whatever. And I'm like, dude, I talk to Dirk all the time. This guy's got a YouTube channel and he's just like posting daily already. So it was an easy transition after like we interviewed you. Like it was it was easy. Like it was like, okay, he fits right in. But at the end, like I think everybody's getting the fatigue because we're already doing it for a few years. And we were
Mm-hmm.
doing it like when we started, we did it every weekend, like every Sunday. And then that lasted like a year and a half. It was a long time. And
Oh,
then
okay.
we backed it off to like every 2 weeks, right? Which
Right.
kept it a little more sane and whatever. But anyway, so, as me and Dirk were talking, we're like, I think my boys are tired. Everybody's kind of like doing their own thing. Even their YouTube channels were kind of like going different directions. So we all kind of agreed to kind of, just, I don't want to say killed it, but just end it where it was at. And then me
Right.
and Dirk are like, well, we're still talking every day. We're still doing this thing. And we came up with the most crazy name for a podcast that I think is, EDC Hour with Dirk and Alex. And the reason why is because we said we don't want to be those guys that do like 4 or 5 hour lives, and nothing against those guys. It's just not what me and
Right.
Dirk do. Like we don't have that much shit to talk about. I mean, I guess we could do that, but that would be like a once or twice a year thing for me when we
Yeah.
bring in like a bunch of people, which actually I'm going to talk to Dirk about. That was something I was thinking about, like on a Saturday or on a Sunday, starting earlier in the morning and doing like a little like live with like 6 people where we just like do like a little special event or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe episode 100, like I don't know. We'll figure
Maybe.
something out.
Yeah.
But here we are still collecting knives. And, I've known Dirk for, I want to say more than a few years now, like quite a few years.
Been a
When it
while.
comes to, like knives and stuff, we've watched each other evolve a lot. And like one thing that both of us, I can say steadily that we can agree on is that we're both buying a lot less knives, which is kind of funny, right? But we've accumulated a lot of crap. Now Dirk's been buying like kind of he's getting that pinnacle of his career where he's like, I'm tapping out, man. Like, and then he
I've
did
been
a review
irresponsible for a
like,
long time.
and
So
then this guy right here does a review of a $28,000 knife.
well,
Which
hold on.
which puts a whole perspective on like knife collecting. Which I want to say this because I like to say that I'm the guy that reads minds, and I want to see if I really read Dirk's mind when he was handling this thing. He's going to tell us right now, but my view is he's like, holy shit! I thought my Fishers were expensive and nice, which they are, by the way. Let's not underplay that.
No.
Not one bit. And to me, like Fisher's kind of in that ballpark of makers anyways. I don't think price deciphers quality. So
Agreed.
I'm going to say that TJ, is definitely up to par with the greats like Rexford and all that stuff, right? But this is a whole other level of detail and delicacy that, wow, it's so Dirk must be thinking like, do I really like want to enter this arena? Like, what's in between this in arena, right? Like 20 grand, that's in between. That's reasonable. That's like a non-flipper. But this is too much. But I think I could do a non-flipper.
Okay, so first off, I haven't done the full video on this $28,000 knife yet. Just did unboxing. And Michael Morgan, just as a segue here, remember the automatic Wolverine claw knife? Yes, from Reese Wheeler.
Yes.
That thing was fantastic. I had a chance to buy that one that I videoed 3 years ago now, probably, from my buddy JP. I don't know if he still has it or if he did sell it or not, but he did offer it to me at one point. And that particular one was like a prototype. It was freaking fantastic. So for those of you that may or may not have seen the unboxing of a rather expensive knife. It's this guy right here.
Yeah.
So this is a Todd Rexford one-off custom, as all of his are. And I'm going to totally screw up the name because I don't have it written down right now. It's the MN1B, I think. Might be NM1B, MN. I get the numbers mixed up. Or the letters. But yeah, $28,000. And we're not going to harp on the price because price is irrelevant at this point. At this level, price is irrelevant.
I'm guessing that's collector's price, right? Not maker's price.
Yeah, so this is not table price, as you will. This came through a dealer after another dealer, probably. Like, it kind of got stepped on a lot. There's a lot of, as Alex will know from being in the automotive industry, there's a lot of dealer markup on this thing. Okay, this is not MSRP. It's dealer markup.
We should all know that if we go to Arizona Customs, right? Like everything over there has got like probably like a 25% bump, I would say.
Right. So in price, and I'll get more into that in the full video of that, but you're talking about scarcity, the rarity of the thing, the craftsmanship of the item, all of that stuff. And we got a comment here, Ginger Plumber. This is my nephew. And so my great nephew, I guess is what that is a 5-year-old that says he really wants that one. All right. Well, Ryan, my nephew, and little Damon, you better start saving your pennies. They happen to be watching live, so that's kind of fun.
Here's another one, by the way. Oh, here it is. This one. TJ on par with the Rexford. That probably relates to my previous comment. I'm not saying that TJ's on par with Rexford as like per se the same level, but I do think TJ is in that same ballpark of makers, like where we're reaching the top. So I'm not saying they're the same quality because I would much rather have a Rexford if you ask me. That's my taste, but I like Todd Rexford stuff. Like I'm a huge fan of Rexford stuff, big time. Yeah. It's not my arena, So like same arena of makers, maybe not on par. Maybe like Rexford's like up here and TJ's like, I don't know. That's a subjective question, anyways. So, but I don't think price deciphers who's better at what, because everybody's got their little skill. And, not everybody can replicate everything. But, I mean, of course, the Rexford is, what a gorgeous piece. Wow.
So it is a gorgeous piece. And my initial thought was I probably wouldn't spend $28,000 on that one. I did do a video on a different Rexford some months ago, back in December, when I got the King Battle. Now, this is not an inexpensive knife either, okay? So I'm in that $10,000 range for knives already, okay? And to go to a $20,000 range, double the price, maybe triple the price for the Rexford, for this particular one, I'm not going there at this point.
At this point.
Do I see myself in a $20,000 knife at some point? Maybe not. As far as the high-end things, the Singularity model Rexford that I did back in December, that was more my speed. That was more my style, really. Like, even if this was the same price as the other Singularity C model that I did, I would probably choose the Singularity one just because it's more my style. So at some point, I would love to add a Rexford to my collection, and that will probably happen. The other high-end knife that I would like to add would be a Stan Wilson non-flipper flipper.
Yeah, me too.
So those are two knives that I will end up with in my collection at some point. if I find them at the right price. Probably the Rexford first, not anytime soon, but it'll be coming for sure. I mean, 10 or 12. If this one was 10 or 12 grand, I'd probably just buy it right now. It's not mine. I've got to send it off to its rightful owner at some point. But he told me not to worry about it. Don't stress. Like, it's fine. And we'll get it shipped off. But yeah, I'm in the $10,000-$15,000 range knife pretty easily mentally. Now, don't go thinking that that's easy and I could just whip out my wallet and go buy a $10,000 knife tomorrow. It takes a little planning. How I got the King Battle was I sold stuff. I had to sell. I mean, I literally sold a Sharknivka Ryu. Big money. Sold that. 6-ish grand to help me pay for the King Battle. So I had to liquidate a few things that were kind of ones I didn't want to sell. But when you have an opportunity to buy something that you have wanted, and I had wanted this specific one for a number of years, and finally my buddy decided to sell it to me, I couldn't turn it down.
I think that's
I
an easy
liquidated
way
some
to.
stuff and made it work.
I think that's an easy thing to figure out to do too, because the way I would do that is I would literally put the King Battle right here, right? And then in this column, I would put the Shark Nivko Ryu, whatever I sold, and say, which column am I going for, right? And sometimes, like, you're like, yeah, I love all these knives, but you take all these knives and condense it, and the amount of joy I get out of the King Battle is still greater than maybe all of these other knives, right? So it's worth it.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
and I like the way you did it too, because it's like, yeah, maybe I can drop like a dime like that, but maybe I don't want to drop a dime like that. And maybe I have a bunch of stuff that I never
And mine's
used.
all back, not all of them, but some of them are in here. Some are laid out on the tables and in the
Yeah.
safe and all of that. And
So
really,
why
the
not?
Ryu wasn't getting carried much. And I really, and not to go off, it's like on some tangent here, because I still want to put together like a collecting video and how my mind works in this collection thing. But I think I was holding on to the Ryu because I could, because I had it and nobody else did. And there was some selfishness with that Ryu, so to speak, because it took me a while to get one. I did love it. I love Edison and Mariella very much. They're friends of mine. We chat off on the side a lot. I hang out with them, go to dinners with them at shows and things like that. So they're just friends. But I was like, why am I holding on? Like, and their value was way up at that particular moment. So I knew I could get some decent money for it. So I was like, I got to be realistic. Let somebody else enjoy it. And the guy who bought it, Mike, down in Southern California, actually, he loves it. He carries it all the time, posts it all the time. And I wasn't doing that. So that's why it was kind of some of my thought process in getting rid of the Ryu to get the King Battle. And the King Battle just matches my collection better because I had a few other battles, and we've talked about that before.
But that's when a decision like that, all those steps, they all made sense, right? Like, it was all thought out and all like the math, everything added up.
Yes.
So, that is something like I hoard stuff because I still haven't done videos on like any of these things. But once I do one day, yeah, we'll start. That's what I plan to do.
Yeah. And then KF Boston here makes a great point. They just started closing on a property today. Congratulations. And he's looking forward to finally slimming down his collection. I just bought a house July of 2023. I moved in at the end of August, this current house. I still need to do a new studio tour. And buying a house makes you think about buying knives. And should you buy a knife or should you not buy a knife? Just because there's house stuff. Like, I have to recover my savings a little bit because I took some savings to put down, right? So I want to build the savings back up. I want to make sure I have some rainy day money in case the water heater blows up or the air conditioning goes out. Like, all those unexpected things when you own the house.
Right.
Where I was renting before, I just make a phone call. That's somebody else's problem, right? So I think that kind of factors into your collecting of anything, whether it's knives, guns, baseball cards, stamps, coins, whatever you're collecting. You buy a house, you may slow down in your collection or your hobbies a little bit for a little while. I'll get back into buying stuff for sure.
Yep. All good stuff, Yeah, I had an interesting thing I shared recently with you where somebody offered me like a decent offer for that Kurt American that I have.
That was a good offer, very good offer. And sometimes that stuff happens. I've gotten offers on things before, and initially I read the message and I'm like, hell no. But then I think about it, I'm like, maybe it is time to get rid of XYZ item.
That one, it wasn't time yet. But it made me think. It made me think. Like, it was like, ooh, because usually, like, when people approach me, like, as you know, I am the person that, like, I buy a bunch of knives, and I have been for the past over 10 years. And I still have a bunch of that stuff that I bought like 10 years ago. And some of that stuff happens to be hot today, and so like I get a lot of messages on, sometimes I post on social media like, hey man, like I'm gonna offer you this for this knife, like what, sell it to me, and it's usually like kind of a half-assed offer. It's like it's like a knife that maybe you'll see on the market for like $1,000, and then they'll be like, yeah, I'll give you $1,000 for it, to make it worth your time. I'm like, well, it doesn't really make it worth my time. Like, I don't have it up for sale if you really want it. Like, how about 12, Oh, that's a lot. I'm like, get out of here. Yeah. So a lot of that guy was straight to the point.
Yes, he was. So speaking of straight to the point, we want to do a giveaway today.
Oh yeah,
maybe one, maybe two. Do we want to give what we have right off the bat is Alex has a watch and I've got a slip joint knife to get it started. Is that interesting to you guys? Comment down below or on the side, whatever. And I guess, I don't know, we could do one person, we could do two people. We'll figure that out as we go. But let's do in the comment. You got to be here. So you got to hang out for a little bit with us. And you got to put in the comments hashtag GAW. Make it easy. Let's do that. So hashtag GAW down in the comments. And then in a little bit, there's like a whole StreamYard, which is the software we use to do the stream. They have a tool that automatically kind of goes through and scans them all and then picks a winner. And we'll show that live as we do that. But yeah, you got to put the hashtag so it knows to search those, and just hashtag GAW. And yeah, so what I've got is I've done a video on this. It's a Big Knives. It's their production series slip joint. And it's got this Wharncliffe blade. It's got the speed holes in it and all that good stuff. Pretty cool.
Dude, I think it's cool, man. Like, it's got an integrated shield, or I'm sorry, it's got a shield and it's got an integrated bolster.
Yep.
And what's cool about that one is it's got their kind of like signature, like
fuller in the holes. Yep.
In the holes. That's what she said. And the handle kind of mimics the old coffin design a little bit on slip joints. So it's it's a mix of like bag and traditional with some modern twist. I think that's cool. Nice little half stop. The
It's got
walk
a
and
good little
talk.
walk and talk,
The
and
walk and talk.
it's brand new. It's got the zipper pouch. It's got the box. It, friggin' brand new. Like it's brand new, like brand new. So I've got that, and then Alex has.
I forgot to bring. No, I'm just kidding. So what I have, I like to like mod Casios, and I particularly like the Casio Royale. Now that particular watch for me had one major flaw, is that it looks metal, but it's plastic. Like a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
stuff is tinny plastic. So there's this really cool company called SKX Mod. They do like kits for all different kinds of watches, actually Seikos, Casios, and other stuff. But they mostly do like Casio stuff, and what they
Right.
make is a kit where you turn this watch into a full metal watch. Now, if you pay a little extra, you can even have them make like a custom bezel for it out of metal, which I did. And then what I did, I didn't stop there because I like to do little screen mods. And then I always do blue. So I did red with this one because red's cool.
Yes, it
And
is.
so here it is. This is the one I'm going to give away. This is the A1300, A1200, sorry.
Yeah,
And
12.
it's already fully modded by me. I've worn it a couple times, but I'm going to put all the links back in. So if you guys have bigger wrists, which is probably most likely the case, you guys will be able to resize it yourself. It's also going to come with the box. Inside are all the tools. So I'm going to ship a box off to Dirk this week. I actually held off on doing so just because of this. And Dirk will send this over to you guys with the knife.
Yeah, so you'll get the stuff in a couple weeks, right? Don't get stressed out. We'll take care of you. I might throw a couple other things in the box. You never know. I make it fancy. We got a lot of people here. We might do a second giveaway. I got some other stuff maybe. You never know.
Yeah, this is
We
our
might get
first
jiggy here in a
giveaway.
few minutes.
When it's like 100 like episodes, like we'll probably do something bigger.
Yeah, we'll do something pretty big at 100 episodes, and on my channel, I will do something big at 10,000 subscribers.
Nice.
So I will absolutely do that.
Speaking of which,
International.
go ahead.
Yes, this is good for anybody in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll make it work, and I will ship it to
Bangladesh.
anybody in the world. If we have, we'll talk about it. I know customs into Canada is a problem. We can work through some of that. Like if there's a special situation where somebody wins out of the United States, we'll figure it out. Okay. Worst case, we'll get you the watch and a flashlight or something if I can't get you the knife. Like we'll figure you out. Okay. I don't like these guys that do giveaways on their channels, and I've done this from the very beginning. Mine have always been international. The people that say, oh, I'm only shipping in the US, forget those guys. You guys are watching from all over the world. I'm going to offer it to all over the world. That's just a personal thing. So, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Michael. That's a good comment.
Yep.
Okay. So, anyway, that's what we got. Keep doing your hashtag giveaway GAWs for the drawing here in a few minutes. What else have we got coming up on this show?
Well, I mean, we're at a pivotal point where I think we're talking about restructuring a few things, right? Like having little segments where we review like certain new knives that come out.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were talking about like doing an episode on like when I'm shopping for a knife, right? How I shop for it, and I'm screenshotting like a bunch of stuff so I can go back to it, and I compile, and then I do process of elimination. Like we've got some stuff. I think we've got a few other, like I know we were talking about a YouTuber possibly inviting a YouTuber on or two. And there's always plenty of makers. I want Ed back on. I want Jim back on. You know,
Yeah, and
like,
there's some other makers that we haven't had on yet
yep,
that we want to
that.
reach out to. Like Eric Luther, maybe.
Oh,
That
we
girl.
still have to get we can get CMF Metalworks back on too. I'm actually
Yeah, so
doing a
we've got
bit
a
of
lot of new people coming and things like that. MKT Medhead asks if we're going to Blade Show Atlanta. I am not. Forget that
not
noise.
this
There's
year.
too many people. I hate people. I'm not going to a show that big. I'm
I
not going to
would
stand in
want
line
to
for 3
go.
days. Sorry.
I would want to go. I'm just not like gonna be prepared for that because for work situations mostly.
Mhm.
If it was something later in the year, I think I could plan better, but maybe next year.
I I
Um,
am planning on being at Blade Show West in Utah this year. Again, I was there last year. Might actually some buddies of mine might have a table there to sell all their like flea market stuff, like their collection. So I may just have a table, like not me, but the group of us might have a table, and I may just be at that table most of that
See,
show.
that one I might do, maybe. I thought about that one.
And then I may do CCKS also in the fall. I like
Yeah,
that show,
I'll do
but
it because it's like 20 minutes.
yeah, and it's easy for me. I can drive down, but I'd like to go and actually do Friday Night Blade Affair at the same time. Like go to that, then go to the show on Saturday, and then come home. But yeah, I will 99% be at Blade Show West and like 95% be at CCKS in the fall. So we got somebody that subscribed to Watch and Cut. Yeah, please go check out
Hey,
Watch and Cut
yeah,
channel.
yeah.
Go check out
So
my channel. I'm getting like 8,900 subscribers now, pushing to 10,000. But if you're never going to watch a video, don't subscribe. Don't waste my time.
subscribe away. I don't care. Yeah.
Gamer Squad. I got my husband the Random Realm Loom Shot SKX mod watch from Dirk. It's his favorite.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
remember that one.
Was that the orange and black one?
I'm pretty sure that was the anthracite dialed one that had the loomed bezel and everything too. I think
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Loom rocks, man.
I had 4 of his like big builds at
Right,
one time, and
right.
then I sold them all. So I don't remember exactly which one that one was, but I think that one was the anthracite dial that was super loomy. 60 click bezel. I loved the 60 click bezel. That was super fun.
I like that. I actually the one of Jiro's watches he sent to me, the Sin. It's a 60 click watch as well, and it's kind of ratchety too. So
Yep.
it doesn't make an audible noise. It just kind of slips into like a joint. It's really kind of neat how it feels.
Okay.
Um,
MKT Medhead says that he doesn't like people either, but the show was amazing. He's going to plan to be at Blade Show West this year. Let me know ahead of time. I try to just how I do the shows. I don't make a big thing. I don't really post up a lot about stuff. I just kind of go in incognito and I just see the show, meet some friends, meet a few of the makers, and then they get out. Like I'm not some big celebrity personality. I don't do any filming when I'm there. I don't do any of that. I just kind of get in and out. What do we know about the cast? Okay, here we go. BFV Jenner.
mm,
What do you know about the MRG 110?
mm,
I'm not sure which one's the
not a
MRG.
whole lot, man. See, that's a weird
MRG is a
thing.
different world. That's not Alex's
Yeah,
world.
that's not my world. I've looked at that world. I've considered that world. Here's the problem with those watches. They're too big for me. Like that's the only problem. I like for my wrist, 39 to 40 mil is like kind of my sweet spot. And those things are like 46, like Dirk can do those, but me, like I love the idea of the watch, and I've like kind of veered into like more like the Oceanus. Like I got an Oceanus,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of not, it's in like the same assembly factory. It's not quite the same type of watch per se, but I am kind of digging the whole high-end Casio thing.
Right.
Yeah, I got one of those too, the F91W.
I've got an F91 that I got on sale on Amazon like 3 or 4 years ago for like $1.99. And it wasn't even prime shipping, so I had to pay shipping, and so the shipping costs more than the watch. But I have one over in the other room just because it's the iconic terrorist watch.
Yeah,
So yeah, I did a video about one. It's kind of a cool watch. And then
it,
Todd
uh,
says, Todd,
it,
no, you don't have to subscribe to win. You just have to be here to win. But we like the subscriptions too.
yeah, why not?
I'll reach out. Let you know. I'm just looking through some of these comments real quick to see what we got. And then we'll get on to more fun stuff here. Damn, just the comments are blowing up today.
I know. We got like, it says like 51 people.
It's
on the
hilarious
live
since
right
it's too small for me. I would really like to find extra links to make it fit, but right now it's been sitting idle since 2006. Oh, that's the MRG 110?
now. Yeah, I'm assuming
What are
that's
you
what he
talking
means.
about?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a sad thing, you know, in the watch world. Sometimes like there's watches out there that are great and you wish you could make it work, but they may not just fit your wrist or, you know.
We got
And I had a hard time as a new watch collector accepting that fact. And then I think over time, I'm like, okay, there's certain watches I just can't have. So I've made peace with that. And that MRG line, like, might be one of those things, you know.
right. I bring out the new breed EDC Clydesdale because Loot 10 is the maker, owner, designer, whatever you want to call it. Saying hi to Marco. And so I figured I have his knife right there. I would bring it out and show. Very cool knife. Super awesome box cutting knife is really what that's great for. Somebody's talking about Invictus.
Oh, yeah.
Underrated knife maker. Okay, here's a good one. Knife Life. He has a YouTube channel, and he has a Direware that is over there on the floor that I just filmed the other day.
Good choice. I like Direwares.
It's a Direware Solo MC. Didn't know that was a thing. The Modified Classic. Video is coming out next week. You'll hear all about the differences between that and the normal solos if you watch that video. But who do we think are the most underrated knife maker? That's a good question.
That's a tough question.
It's a
There's
tough
usually
question.
a pretty substantial list, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of them are.
Sharp by Design, I think, is one of them. That's one I'm gonna pick because he's literally like a magician with his stuff. I think the reason, like, he's grumpy, you know, which I love that about Brian, and then B, he doesn't make like a lot of knives, like they're scant. Like you always see him making knives, but yeah, getting one is kind of like good luck. But I would say that even that being said, like looking at the way his older stuff, like the classic Typhoon customs and the way that they sell, they're usually like cheaper than what I expect for a guy like that. And so that would be one maker I would say is a little underrated.
Right. Yeah, I think so. And I think some maybe not underrated, but unknown. A lot of it is Todd Rexford. I mean, he's known in the higher end people, but I don't know that every knife collector person really knows of Todd Rexford.
Well, they used to know him better back in, you know, like
back in the day when he was designing for ZT and doing all the collabs and things like that. Yep.
Yeah, like Kershaw's and stuff like that. And, you know, speaking of him, I want to say that that guy is like, as, you know, well known in the echelon of custom knife making as he is. I literally approached him because I bought a one of his rut tools.
Yep, I've seen that.
Yeah, the little blue one. And then so I did a video on it on my old channel, And I wanted to ask him a few questions about it, you know, like where the idea came from, whatever. And so I sent him an email, and he literally replied like 3 or 4 pages of information. Like it was a wealth of knowledge of stuff, and it was all pertinent information
Right. Yep.
to the review. Like it was great. And then so I replied, wow, thank you so much, you know, and everything. We had a back and forth conversation for a while. I'm like, dude, this guy is really, really nice. So yeah, that was really unexpected, very easy to contact. He was very responsive, and he was really, really like, I don't know, he gave off that really kind person kind of vibe. So
That's
I
what I
love
have heard as well from several people. Like Jim reached out to him. Jim Skelton had this knife before me, so Jim sent it to me on behalf of the owner. The owner sent it to Jim first, straight from the dealer that he bought it from. Actually, went to Jim and then to me. And Jim reached out to Todd and asked a bunch of questions and whatnot. So I've heard that from him, and also know Eric, my other buddy in Utah. He's talked with Todd and gotten information on other knives and stuff like that too. So I hear he is very approachable.
Yeah. I like that, you know, like somebody who's not even like, he doesn't even have to say anything. He's so proven in the knife
Yep.
world, like, but he still like will take time out of his day to like talk to anybody, which was really, really nice. So
I
that's kind of
agree.
cool.
Michael Morgan says Brian Winters. Probably underrated, but he's also small. Like he hasn't done a lot. Like he's done
Well, he does nothing but prototypes.
he does prototype. He did a run of the Factor, like maybe 3 runs. There's like 2 different runs. There was like a version 1 and version 2 of the Factor.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then that's it. Everything else has been prototypes. I think I believe those are the only 2 that he actually has produced. I could be wrong.
He is cool though. Like that guy's got a cool affinity for magnets. You know, it's a cool way to use them.
Yeah, Lou 10 says that's a beautiful night. That's 20 grand. It's $28,000. I did an unboxing of that one earlier, and I will have a full, more detailed video coming out on that Rexford probably in a couple of weeks. I'm traveling at the end of next week for next weekend. I'll be out of town. So I'm going to probably film that when I get back from being out of town, and then it'll come up, you know, air soon after that.
I
Brian
like this
Ambrose?
one.
Yep.
Yep. I like those too, man. Another maker I've met a couple of times actually, and another really, really nice guy. His knives are not really easy to get. I've been eyeballing him for years. I'm in the group and stuff for years. I'm just waiting, like maybe one day I can talk him into making me something instead of buying somebody else's knife, but we'll see. Like he's friends with somebody that I'm friends with, so
Right.
you know, who's actually making me a knife right now, by the way.
Right. A lot of times it is about the connections. And I've talked about that when I did my 101 days. Oh, that's the other thing we got to talk about. I did a video, 101 days of this in the pocket, right?
That was pretty cool.
And then I did a community post, and there's still time. You guys can go vote, and I'll look at the results here in a second. Did I switch it up after that 101 days, or did I still put that back in my pocket? I did like a little poll on the community tab at YouTube. I was surprised by the results so far. It's about 55-45, and it kind of goes back and forth. You know, sometimes.
Can you guess where I voted?
I am going to guess that you voted that I put it back in my pocket. Are you still there, Alex?
I'm coming back in and out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I think you voted that I put it back in my pocket and I did not change.
No.
Oh, you voted that I changed. All right. Well, we'll answer that question in a few minutes.
Because I didn't want you to be tied to the knife. I wanted you to go back to exploring.
it was an interesting journey for 101 days. You got to go watch that video. I think
I
it, it,
did. I
it
liked
did
it.
definitely change. Like buying a $10,000 knife changes you, number one. That's a whole different, like when you step into there, and now I've done that more than once now, but once you've gotten to that level, it changes you in your collecting.
Hmm.
But then when you carry the same knife for 100 days, I think that changes you too. And I wore
Yeah.
a watch for 100 days when I got it as well, way back. And I talked about that, this Omega ceramic Planet Ocean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good thing to do. Like, what do you guys do? Do you carry the same knife every day? Do you, like in some of the comments recently, people have said that they carry a work knife and a home knife. So during the work day, Monday through Friday, they're carrying knife X. And then on the weekend, they carry a different knife. So they kind of rotate between two or three.
I don't do that. I carry the same knife all day. I think they all should have the same. They should be put through the same test all day, whatever it is.
Yeah, but do you carry the same knife all week?
Oh no, no, like
Or
I
one on
s-
Monday, a different one on Tuesday, a different one on
yeah.
Thursday type of thing?
I
That's what I'm
well
kind of asking the masses.
because I do like not a serious Instagram page, but because I do a page,
Right.
like with video, like I try to do a new knife every day. But you notice, like every once in a while, kind of skip a few days.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that happening, that means I'm usually carrying the same knife and the same watch those
Gotcha.
2 or 3 days that I skipped.
Yep.
And it could be like because I had shit to do, and then I fell asleep, and then I was running late in the morning. I'm like, fuck it, the watch that's on my wrist, that's the one. Sometimes I'll sleep with the watch on my wrist.
Oh gosh, I don't do that. I
I
actually
do
don't
that.
really wear a watch when I'm at home.
Yeah.
When I get ready to leave and I load up my pockets with all my junk that really is kind of junk sometimes. It seems like we carry too much stuff. I can justify it all, but do I need to justify it all? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's when I put a watch on. Usually. I mean, sometimes I do wear a watch around the house, but generally no. If I leave the house, like if I go out to do yard work, I go out to work on the car, I put a watch on.
Hmm.
Yes, I put a watch on to work on the car. Whatever. Let's see. What do we got here? Comments. I don't carry the same every day. I don't carry the same every day now. When I first got into blades, I would carry the same thing for months. See? That's what I just did.
But it's cool because like it's if you have a lot of crap and you're doing a page or whatever, like then maybe rotating's kind of better because it's not as boring, right? But
Right.
what's cool about carrying it, like even for a week straight, like you get more, like just the same exact word you use, you get more intimate with that object. You start to like have more excuses to use it and things because
Yep.
you've been carrying it all week, and you're starting to like think, maybe this handle or this material's like starting to feel rough after a few days, or maybe I don't like this one as much as I thought I did. Like, I think you learn more about the knife if you spend a week or two with it. I don't think
I
you need to
agree.
spend months with it to like figure that out, but usually one day of carrying, which you may not even pull it out of your pocket at all that day if
Right.
you've got nothing to cut. Like, it's different. It's a whole different experience, I guess.
I agree. Michael Morgan here says a new knife maybe 4 or 5 days straight when he buys a new knife. Otherwise, it's a different one every day. And
Right.
I get that. And that's what I was doing pretty much before. It was a new knife every day. In like, I've got maybe somewhere between 60 and 70 knives total. Now, several of those are fixed blades that I'm not going to obviously carry around. And then some are, like the Phil Harvey Peacemaker, 2.5 pounds. Like I'm not pocket carrying that on a daily basis. So there's a subsection of those 10 or 15 knives that just don't get carried generally.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so out of 50, let's call it 50 knives, some are like special knives that kind of are safe clean. Like, I have some commemorative type knives for World Trade Center. I have a 9/11 knife and things like that I don't carry. But the carrying a different knife every day just kind of started to become a little bit stressful, and figuring out, well, where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I going to see? And
That's
I don't
why I
know.
picked mine the night before.
Yeah, and I would try to kind of do that in the night before too, but then I would be like, I don't feel like that one now this morning because it doesn't match
Yeah.
my socks or it doesn't match the watch I kind of wanted to wear. Like it became a thing.
You know, I'm a veteran. I stick to the plan.
I know. I
The
know.
plan is, you know, like even like when me and my wife are like arguing on like where we're gonna go eat or whatever, you know, like to end everything, I always go back to stick to the plan, right?
Yep.
Originally, where did you say you were wanting to go? That's where we're going.
Right.
It
Yeah,
works.
I
It
get
works.
it. Professor EDC says, I carry the same knife all week, and the secondary, which is a slip joint, I tend to change a couple of times per the week. Okay. So he's got his main folder, and then he's got a slip joint also all the time, and that slip joint gets changed up. That's kind of a cool way to do it. I'm not a big slip joint guy yet. So it's a little tough doing a lot of these. Like I went to lunch with Big Knives a couple weeks ago, and they gave me a box of knives to film and everything, and a couple of them are flippers and frame locks and things like that. But then a bunch of them are slip joints, and I'm kind of like,
Well, I
I'm not
say
sure I
this,
do
Dirk.
those videos
I'm gonna
so well with the slip joints.
I'm gonna say this. Actually, like I like slip joints. Like I don't want to call myself a slip joint guy. I mean, you can
Right.
see I got a bunch of tubes of GECs right here. These are all slip joints. I got like, you know, like throughout, I got a whole box of slip joints there. So I have a bunch of them and I like them. And I enjoy your slip joint videos because I know you don't. So
Oh,
for me, like it's funny. I like it. It's because it's something, you know, like when you said the pull, right? And then I'm like,
right.
it's walk and talk. And
So
then
where
you're
did this
like, I
walk and
don't
talk
even
come
like it.
from?
That's what
Where
they
does
call
that
it. I
term
don't
come from?
know.
Does anybody know where the term walk and talk? That seems silly to me. Like I
Yeah,
get it. And Big Knives did do a lot of research to get that strength and that tension just right. And I think they did nail it. And whoever wins this in just a minute will I think also agree with that. Um, Metal Inquisitor, Aussie Mike stepped out a few minutes ago. Probably missed him, but thanks for chiming in. Um,
I like this one. Slip joints are the revolvers of guns, you know, like
that's a pretty good analogy.
kind of.
That's not bad. All right, one last shout out for people. Hashtag GAW if you want to get in on the giveaway of the watch and this slip joint that we've got. I'll give you another minute here and we'll do that drawing. And then I'll check my poll to see what the
That's what she
breakout
said.
is if I put this back in my pocket after 100 days or if I switched it up because I'm curious what everybody thought. Got to check that poll again.
That's what she said.
Pool. The pool, not a poll. It is a poll. POL. Ah.
He
Okay, what
said
does
pole.
James says here? I carry the new one and something else until the newness wears off,
That's
or
fair.
one that I can do everything. Or if I have an auto, then something else for food or something I don't want to stuff getting in an OTF. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Like, I would challenge you, Dirk, one who doesn't like slip joints
Oh
but
boy.
keeps kind of getting them sent to you. And you know, like inside the voice somewhere back there, I kind of feel like a curiosity is there. Like, why do people like these things? And the way I think you should do it is shop for one for yourself purely on aesthetics. I want you to buy one based on the way it looks, nothing else. You know, like if it's a brand thing, then buy the
Mhm.
brand. Get a slip joint that you really like the way it looks. Get over the non-locking thing and buy one that looks cool, right?
Right.
Then when you get it, I want you to carry it for a week and
Oh,
just see how many times you pull up that non-locking knife out and you say, "Oh shit, I can't use this thing right now because it's not locking." And I'm gonna say that you're after that week, you're gonna be like, you know what? I get it now. Like, you don't always need a fucking lock. Like, it's fine. You do have to be conscious on how you use it. Like,
Agreed. Yes. We
you
do
can't.
not need a locking blade. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that nobody watching, nobody listening right now
Well, it depends on what
needs
you're
a
doing.
locking blade.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're gonna stab something, you need a locking blade, right? Like,
Then you probably want a fixed blade.
if I want something that stabs something, it's got a lock. I would agree with you 100%. I would feel more
I agree.
comfortable with a
Yes,
fixed blade, but at minimum, a locking knife. If you go like an idiot and go to try to stab something with a slip joint,
you're
you
dumb.
might come out with a few fingers less.
Right.
So, as long as you keep conscious of the tool that you're using, they become kind of fun because it like almost brings you to that primitive side. Like, it's so simple. Like, it doesn't even like lock. It just like, but it's
Yeah.
cool. It's got retention, so it doesn't open in your pocket.
No, I
And
agree. And
we always want a pocket clip, but what if you just kind of like
right.
tossed it in your pocket, or buy one with an effing pocket clip? Like, they make a gazillion of them,
I guess I could look at that. And I think Marco really, he describes the walk and talk thing here. This is great. So the tang end of the blade moving along the spring is the walk, and the snap of the knife at the end of the opening or closing cycle is the talk.
That is true.
That's
That
a
is
great way to
100% true.
describe it.
Yeah, that is a
Now
great way.
I understand.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, what's it? What? Okay, Boston, let me know if you want to check out a GEC Beaver locking slip joint. What's a locking? Isn't the whole point? What is this
It's
locking slip
it's
joint?
it's probably a lockback. I bet you.
Then that's not a slip joint, is it? Or what am I
No,
missing?
no. If it locks, it's not a slip joint.
Then it's not a slip joint. So I'm confused by that. All right, let me figure out how
Because if
to.
it locks with some sort of lock, right? Like, it's gonna have a liner lock in there, or it's gonna, and I actually have a liner lock GEC in here. That might be like something what he's talking about. And I think I have a beaver tail one here. I don't want to like go through and untube everything, but yeah, the GEC makes locking knives. They do. But
All
it's
right,
not a
well,
joint.
let's do this. Let me share this thing here and let's pick a winner.
Let's do it.
All right, so we did this. It's this. The hashtag. Oh, it's hashtag giveaway. Exclude winners when they're doing multiple draw. Exclude winners. Okay, sure, whatever. Start collecting. All right, here we go.
Dun, ta, ta, ta.
Entry 16. Only 16 people.
That's it.
All right, whatever. 16 people get to
Wait.
win.
Does it? Wait. Hold on. Don't hit it yet. Does that mean does it exclude people who put it on twice, like as they're cheating, or does it just make them?
No, I think if we're gonna do it again, it'll exclude the first people. So let me go back because a couple.
Yeah,
people are
it's
entering
building
now.
up, man. It's building up. Keep
Yeah.
going, guys.
All right, just keep
going.
going, guys, for a minute. Let me,
Yeah,
while you guys are doing that, let me check my YouTube poll and see the percentages. I'm just going to do that on my phone.
He's gonna check his poll.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So on that voting thing, we had 84 votes. The question was, so after 101 days of the king battle in my pocket, did I switch it up or still carrying the king? What do you think? Switch up the carry? Still rocking the king battle. Those were the two choices.
I'm gonna say switch one.
84 votes. It was 54% to 46%. And 54% of the people said I switched up the carry, and 46 said I'm still rocking the king battle.
Yeah.
And the people that said that I am still rocking the king battle would be correct. because I am still rocking the King Battle, and it's going on 110 days now. So some people might think I'm a little obsessive compulsive. Some people might say that I don't like change. Some people might think that I am stuck in my ways. And those would all probably be correct statements, because I generally have the same thing for breakfast every day. And I generally have the same thing for lunch every day.
And he's got 6 shirts of the same color every day. And he's got
no, I do change my
color
shirts every day for work. But yeah, I am very habit driven-ish, I guess.
He's actually naked from the shirt down because he works at home.
That we're not going to answer. We'll never know that answer. I do work from home, and this is the view that all of my coworkers get every day, minus the blue. All right,
man.
so that answers that. Let's do a draw. I think we've given everybody enough time. We've got 44 votes now, or entries, if you will. And I guess that is the answer. We just have to give something away, and then we bring all the boys to the yard, because we got 60.
That's what she said.
60 plus viewers at the same time right now. We're not going to give stuff away all the time. Like, this is maybe the second or third time we've ever given anything away. And it's probably the first time we really announced it. So yeah, that's how those other channels grow, because they give away stuff all the time, and I'm just not about that. All right, let's see who wins.
Da-da-da-da.
It's pretty cool. This is a newer thing for StreamYard within like the last 6-9 months or a year, I think. So it's a cool way to do it.
Oh, Jocko.
I'm not even sure who that is, but
Jacob or Jocko?
What you have to do now, Jocko, is hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, email. Email is in the description of every one of my videos. Send me a message, and then we'll talk, find out, I'll need your address. We'll find out where you are. If there's any, I don't know if you're in the United States or, any of that stuff, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm going to actually put the watch. I think I saw in the comments, somebody's like, what if we tell you like what size wrist? It's really easy. I believe these things are like flatheads. So like to resize is not like the color and pin, and you'll have the tools. So I'd rather just send it with all the links on it, like a brand new watch, and you guys can resize it. It's really easy, I promise. Your poll brings all the boys to the yard.
I don't know. I love having this much interaction in the, I can't lie. I love seeing the 63 people in here right now. I love all the comments and the interaction. It just makes it better. I'm not all about, I've got to get all the views and I got to get all, it's not. But when there's a lot of people and there's a lot of chatting amongst you guys in the comments, it's just cool.
Yep.
It's funner for me when there is that kind of stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. Olights. People are talking about Olights. So I'm kind of going through the comments, to see what people are talking about. Somebody mentioned something. I think it was Michael Morgan way a long time ago, and we just never had a chance to look. He said, does he see, what did he say? JWK tubes or something? I don't even know what that was. I'm going to try to find that comment real quick. It was early. Because I didn't know what he was talking about. I meant to get back to it at the time, but then we got sidetracked. And it's probably one of those comments that's so far gone. Oh, JW. So Michael Morgan, if he's still here, are those JWK tubes I see? I don't even know what that is.
JWK tubes.
I don't know if he's talking about my screen or his screen. Oh, maybe it is those tubes right behind your shoulder.
These are Great Eastern Cutlery tubes. These are all slip joints.
Maybe that's it. Okay, so
if that's what you're referring to.
Congrats. Oh, they were GEW to GEC. Yeah, he already answered his own question, I guess. So that's cool.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oops.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Jack
10.
Wolf Knives. That's what JWK was.
Oh,
Jack Wolf Knives. Okay.
gotcha. I do not own any Jack Wolf knives. I did a video on one though. I think it was the Bad Monkey that sent it to me, Troy.
Yes.
Very nice knife. It's like super cool. Like a lot of people really raved about it, and I'm like, but in all honesty, it looks like a very nice, well done production knife with a really thin grind, which is actually not as common. It's kind of like got that modern like hollow grind thing to it. So it's cool. I like what he's doing because they come with a pog, right? Like
Yes.
if you're of like my age at least, or around that era, like or older, like you'll know what pogs are. So that kind of made me laugh,
Yep.
pogs. And then the tube matches, like it was like a vampire theme, so it had like a coffin handle, and like Ben's done a really good job of marketing those things, and you get a
Oh, for
very
sure.
good, very good knife for what you pay. So it's fun. Collect the whole series. You can have vampires and mummies, and So I
But
like
there's
what
slip
he did.
joints, so I'm out.
I still challenge you.
I like, but so now in this challenge, can I carry a regular knife too, or do I have to
Yeah.
only carry that slip joint?
No, you can carry another knife too.
Okay, then I
You
can
can
maybe do
carry
that, and
another
I might
knife
do
too.
that. I talked about that in a video I filmed just the other day that you guys haven't seen yet.
I mean, if you want to be grown up, you'll only carry the slip joint. But if you need to, you can. I had to throw it like that because that's more what I mean. Like,
Wow.
the point of it, Dirk, is for you to try a slip joint to see if the lock thing really is a thing. That's the whole point.
Nah, I
And if you,
think your point of get a slip joint with a pocket clip, I think that answers the question.
okay,
I think that's
okay,
the way for me to go.
okay.
So
I
then,
think
because I
actually,
think that's what it
and
is. It's like I want the quick access. I already got my keys and my junk in the bottom, and I do have that little Swiss Army knife that I do carry all
well,
the time.
what about a
It's a
clip
slip
slip?
joint.
What about a clip slip?
I don't know. I don't love those things.
Have you tried it?
No, I've seen yours. I think I had one of yours here at some point. I mean, I put it in my pocket, but I don't think I really carried it. Michael Morgan saying that Jack Wolf Knives has 2 locking ones now, he thinks. Maybe.
Oh,
Not
cool,
sure.
cool. Yeah, he's doing cool stuff. I mean, it's like I kind of, if I'm gonna buy a traditional knife, I kind of prefer to. That's why I have like GECs and bucks back there, is
Yep.
because I like traditional. Like I don't know. I like what he's doing. It's just not my market.
Yeah. So I help with gadgets.
I'm
Come on,
with
man.
him,
Carry more than
man.
one knife
I'm
at a time. How
with
many
him.
pockets do you have? So there's 5 pockets, right? If you count the little 5th pocket, coin pocket, watch pocket, whatever you want to call it, there's 5 pockets. But you got to remember, like, I got a wallet, I got 2 phones, I got a regular knife, I got my small little Swiss Army knife, I've got a pen, I've got a challenge coin, and I've got a flashlight. And I got my car keys.
Well, that's all
So there's
good.
like 9 freaking things that take up my 5 pockets.
All right. I pulled out a slip joint I've had for a very, very long time. I can't remember. I think this one has the date somewhere. I'm not sure. But this is a slip joint that's a little bit fancier, and it makes me really happy when I carry it. Ironically, it looks a lot like the bag,
Okay.
but this is an Andre DeVille.
Ah, yes. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
I
look,
think
this
I've
one's
seen that
got,
one.
yeah, it's got Moki collars on it.
Yep.
It's E2. It's got African rosewood on it. And it's one of his customs. Like you can get them like a little bit less dressy or more. But
Right.
when I carry this thing, it's a fun experience for me. It's very joyful because I love the materials on it, right? Like it's looks natural, and then it looks kind of like fancy with like the
Yeah.
little May tones and stuff. So for me, like that, the fact that it doesn't lock, and this one, the walk and talk, you could see it doesn't have a half stop. It's kind of like
Yeah.
always friction. Instead of
Gotcha.
having like
Okay.
click, click,
Yeah.
this one has constant friction. So
Okay.
you see it doesn't snap
Yep.
like
Doesn't
until
stop.
again. So for me, like a unique friction or friction folder, a unique folder that's like, something like this is more what I'm talking about. Like you go find like something slightly fancy because we all like to feel fancy and carry it and just see.
I will do that. Humphrey here has a comment. Dirk, what is the tool cabinet behind you, if you don't mind? It is a Husky brand tool chest that I have like some office supply stuff in the very top. This side over here, the top two drawers are full of knives. The very bottom big drawer is got a bunch of Pelican cases for my knives. And then over on the right hand side, it's got like some older studio lights, some tripods, just other like audio visual gear that I've used over the time that I no longer use because I've evolved all of my gear and microphones and all that. So there's just spare stuff over there. I think it looks good in my office. All of the office furniture and stuff is, black. Like my sit stand desk that I'm on now has black legs with maple looking top. My YouTube studio filming thing is over here, and it also is black legs with a maple top and things. So it's kind of, it all kind of is cohesive in here. But yeah, thanks for asking. I love it. All right. Well, I think that
comments in there.
What's that?
We got a bunch of comments still going, man.
People are still talking. I mean, if people are still here hanging out, I'm not one to like say kick everybody out and move on necessarily, but we are getting about to that point. So,
what do you think? Like another? Should we give another like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, another 10 or 15 minutes or so. We'll just kind of wrap things up. I mean, there's a lot of people still here and commenting. So I want to
it's like episode 50. We should pull
exactly. This is kind of like the after party, so to speak, because we already gave away the stuff and people are still here, which is pretty cool, I think.
Well, let's hit comments, man.
I thought everybody would have dropped off like 2 seconds after a winner was found. Jeff Carter, what's going on, everybody? We just sitting here talking about knives, talking about watches, talking about toolboxes behind my desk, doing our every other Sunday thing. Now we will try to be more mindful with the schedule. I know we just missed almost like 3 or 4 weeks, but I was traveling. Alex, I had family coming in. Alex had a birthday for his daughter, so they were out a different Sunday. I had family in the Sunday before. So again, we kind of I don't know that we'd ever get to once a week. I think that gets a little much for Alex and I. And there's not as much interaction as there was tonight. If there was this much interaction every week, it'd probably be here every week. But maybe we just need to do once a month and we get this much action. I don't know. But we like to stay in that every other week-ish. Sometimes we have to change it up just because of traveling and things like that. But yeah, that's the normal schedule.
I see EDC for Funds in the house.
What up, Dennis?
Good to see him. I saw Professor was in the house. That was good to see him. What else we got? We got
Todd, I know skippable ads in general kind of suck, but they're kind of the thing you got to do.
This I don't know what a
Marisol.
Yeah, I know what a sod buster is, but I'm not sure what that other one is, so I can't comment on that one. What else we got? This one's cool. The new locking system for knives are cool. Yeah, like I
Mm-hmm.
think like they've reached the pinnacle. They really have reached like a pretty high standard. There's so many different variations of liner and frame locks and
Right.
bolster locks and friction folders and slip joints and different ideas and different takes on back locks, which is my favorite, by the way. That's the one where they have the pinch back locks on some of those really
Yes.
expensive customs and stuff.
Yep.
um Actually, the non-flipper by design is a back lock technically.
It
it's
is.
got a it's got a flipper on the bolster, but the locking mechanism of it is a back lock, which
Yep.
is kind of interesting, right?
Once I got
So
to handle one in person, that's when I was hooked. Then I understood the mechanics of it, and I was like, yeah, I gotta have one of these.
yeah. Yeah, and and everybody's been doing a really good job. Everybody's been,
Hmm.
increasing the areas to put your finger in, disengage the locks. Like it's
Right.
not like it was 10 years ago.
No, no, not at
It's
all.
true. Like the locks have gotten really good, and in general, except for Emerson, they still stick all the time. I've been carrying nothing but Emersons now for almost 2 weeks, and I love them for whatever they are, but I don't advocate for anybody to buy one because there are certain characteristics you'll find on Emerson knives that repeat over
Hmm.
and over.
What
It's
dire ware did you pick up? Salt.
mm.
Dennis wants to know, Alex, did you get a stump lifter from your boy AKB?
Oh, not yet. I need to get one. I need to get one. That's the new Advanced Knife Bro signature little slip joint thing. It's kind of like
Ah,
a chub. It's a small slip joint, but yeah, I am gonna get one. I haven't gotten around to it. But yes. I think right now my like biggest venture is my after probably a year of going back and forth, and we've been talking about making a knife together for a few years. Me and Ian finally figured out what we're gonna do. So that's
okay, cool.
yeah, we're gonna build a Mistress R, and the
Hmm.
reason why we're doing the Mistress V2 because I originally picked the Icarus because I like that knife almost the best.
Okay.
But he brought the Mistress R back because I told him like that was a good idea. It was kind of like my idea to like bring it back.
Right.
So like since you gave me credit for that, let's build one of those.
Okay.
And then so yeah, we're gonna build a pretty nice one. I mean, it'll be Damascus and
Oh,
uh,
trust me, anything you're having built is going to be over the top. I already know that. Doesn't matter who's making it.
well, it's gonna be nice, and we went with blue as our theme color.
Okay.
So some blue micarta is going to be kind of fun to look at. I'm not doing the blue. You can get blue paper Westinghouse micarta. Like
Yes.
that option, like I'm not sure if I heard him right, but that option like seemed like it was just $1,000 for the material alone. So
Oof.
I'm like, I'm not doing that, man. Like I don't like it that much. So we're doing a different kind of blue micarta, but it's not paper. It's I forgot what kind of resin it is. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna have more shine and sheen to it. So it's gonna be nice. And then he says he's gonna do a crazy pivot for me. Well, that's his signature
Of
thing.
course.
So yeah, not like next month or the month after that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
Those
already been started. So maybe next year.
yeah, those kind of custom builds take a long time.
And he's busy
Um,
too. He's
because the
got a
people
lot.
are busy. I get it. Like I've been talking to Ed Kim at Red Horse about the final Hellraiser. I think he's still working on the second to last Hellraiser. So we haven't even got to what we're gonna do for mine yet. I mean, we've bounced around ideas for probably 2 years. So, and we still haven't, gotten to the point to start making it yet. So, at some point that'll happen. Probably, maybe next year. We'll see. 2025.
The answer to this question is absolutely there are. The larger ones. The large, like 3-inch bladed, like GECs have a really. I have one that's like, it's got a, the nail nick, and like you literally try to have to use it, and you literally will like break your nail if, yeah. So, good question, but yes. Otherwise, the smaller ones are pretty moderate because remember, it's smaller springs, smaller
Right.
tension, less tension, whatever.
We got a new guy, NFK20. Hello, guys. Not gonna lie, never been here.
Well, welcome.
Welcome. Glad we stayed a little longer so you could actually join us. Normally we're out 10 minutes ago or so, but welcome. Hopefully you got something good out of it and you're gonna come back. I don't know. But yeah, welcome. Any love for DSK or Strider? I am not a Strider fan just
Not a
because of
DSK
the
fan.
aesthetics.
Mhm.
That's all. Nothing against Strider. I've met them at the shows and talked to them. They were super nice. His wife is super nice. Like great people. The aesthetics to me, I just don't care for. DSK, Dan Sullivan. Yeah, he's into big overbuilt Medford-esque type of things. There are a few that I like. I really, really wanted to check out Megalodon at one point.
Oh yeah.
I never really pulled the trigger and got on the list when they came out, but that's one I still would like to check out if somebody's got one.
See, I never got into DSK because they were a little large for me.
Yes.
But I always found them interesting. Like I always clicked on them and looked at them and stuff.
Yeah, he does good
Striders,
stuff.
I do like Striders. I have one. I have only one, and I'm actually giving it to somebody.
Okay.
But I plan to maybe get one more. I don't know. I have an SNG, and I actually, at first, for the longest time, it took me years to buy a Strider and get around to it. And I found one that had like a really cool heat color. It had 20 CV, so it's kind of unique. And then, so I bought it just to try it, and ended up really liking the ergos. I was like, wow, this thing, like in the hand, it felt really good to me.
It does. It really does. I've done videos on several of them, and I've bought one for a buddy years ago for his birthday, things like that. They feel really surprisingly good in the hand. I was surprised how good it felt in the hand based on the way it looked, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't.
Absolutely.
For me, it's really the look.
Yeah, and that was the thing for me too, was the look. But I just like when I got it in the hand, I kind of got over it, and I decked mine out. It's got a Timascus clip, it's got an over travel log bar in Timascus. So when I was on a live thing with Sean Ryan, I asked him, I'm like, what's your favorite knife? And he's like, well, when I was at the agency and CIA, like my favorite knife was a Strider because that's what we got issued. And I guess he really likes the way they feel. So I'm doing a video like on his gummy bears, and with that knife, like cutting the stuff and whatever. And I'm actually gonna give him that knife because like I actually don't really carry it much or anything. I mean, I can't remember. I don't think I paid like. I didn't pay Strider money like you do today. I think I paid like $500 or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. I think he'll enjoy it.
That's
like
cool.
To make sure, like, I mean, he's a Navy SEAL. He needs a real knife,
right?
Like, yeah, if the
I
guy
think
was
that's
walking
great.
around with a Kershaw, like that's the reason why I'm giving it to him. I'm like, he needs to know what like a good high end knife, and if that's what he likes, I'm like, I never carry that thing, and it's kind of fancy, so it'll be cool for him.
That's cool. Todd Carter asks, "Hey Alex, tried out the Rosecraft slip joints yet?"
I have not. I have not actually.
I have not either. The new guy says, I have one single Rosecraft and it was gifted to me by my buddies I got to meet, and it's number 6. Very cool.
I'm actually gonna be honest, and I'm not really familiar with that brand, so I'll have to kind of check it out later and see what
Yeah,
it
their
is.
big claim to fame was the Oz, wasn't it? The Oz, the rose. They call it kind of the rosy Oz or something. I didn't really
Mm.
love it. It's kind of short and whatnot for me. It wasn't my fave. All right, my nephew is off to go make some food. Thanks for hanging out, guys. That dude, my nephew, man, he can grill. Like he could grill my shoe, and it would probably taste really good. Like he got that from his dad, my brother-in-law, and from my dad, his grandfather. Um, yeah, my dad could barbecue a shoe, and it would taste good, no doubt.
I'm gonna say that I believe you, and I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't try it either. But man, some people got that gift. I can't
Yeah,
cook
totally.
nothing.
Totally. I'm pretty
Frozen
good actually.
pizza, I can make a great frozen pizza, and I can microwave some hot dogs and some pizza rolls. That's about the extent of my cooking ability.
Well,
Sorry,
I'd like to
sorry,
say
ladies.
that I'm pretty proud of my cooking abilities because some of you may or may not know I was born in France, and
Mm-hmm.
in France you learn how to cook at a very young age. It's mandatory, like
Ah,
young.
that's right. Yeah.
So 4 years old, you're already in the kitchen with grandma, like I
Oh,
was,
dang.
and you're already starting to learn how to prep like 2, 3 day meals. Like I don't do it, like I don't,
Mm-hmm.
but I know how. And like I do like once in a while for my wife some fancy stuff. The thing is like the really cool stuff, like I know how to make like the tartare, like I know how to make all that stuff like legit. My wife doesn't eat like any of
Ah,
that stuff. So if I make like something like that, like I'm gonna be eating it by myself. My daughter, no way either, you know. Even like
yeah.
sushi, like I have to go somewhere where they have like cooked food, like teppanyaki for her, because she
Right.
don't touch like raw stuff or anything like that. So yeah, you know.
Lord Needham. Yeah, you're right. The Oz Machine Company Roosevelt, that's the Rosie. That's different than the Rosecraft blades. I got
Gotcha.
that mixed up. So yeah, that's yes. Thank you for that. Okay, a couple last ones here. Let's see. Professor DC, totally get that, Alex. Half my family is from France.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, well, then you know, yeah, it's a thing there, you know, and it's a pride thing, and you get up really early in the morning like that. Like my routine as a kid, you know, was get up at like 5 in the morning, like literally 5 o'clock in the morning. Me and grandma would get up, we would walk to go pick up bread. Then the milk was delivered to the door by the milkman.
okay.
And then after that, she would drive me, you know, we would eat breakfast. She would drive me to school.
Mm-hmm.
And by 7:30, I was in school. And by 4:30 is when I left school because we go to school long hours in France. And yeah, like every day it was, you know, food. And then the
Wow.
weekends we were cooking. I killed the chicken. I did all that, you know,
Oh, dang. Okay. Well,
plucked the
phone
cows.
got me beat.
And like in my summers where I would have like no school and grandma had to get a babysitter, the
Right.
babysitter would get paid to watch me, but she would put my ass to work. Like I would go and milk cows and shit.
Okay.
I was pissed, man. I was like, this is bullshit. Like I'm supposed to be on summer break right now. I'm fucking working the fields. The only thing that I really liked doing was driving a tractor as a young kid. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah. So
Cool. That's
cooking pizza,
pretty cool
you know,
stuff.
I can cook a mean microwave pizza too, you know.
That's about the extent of my stuff. I mean, I use the oven for the pizza, and then, but yeah, if it doesn't go in if it's not got very clear directions, and all I got to do is heat it and then cut it and eat it, that's not for me. I go out, have my girlfriend come and do something. I don't know, but yeah. All right, we'll end it here with Todd. Rosecraft Blades are a team of designers that started their own brand and having their own designs OEM'd in China. Swags is one of the designer. The slip joint quality is
Oh,
great
oh,
and
I have
priced
seen this.
okay as well.
I have
That's
seen
right.
this. You said swags, and it
Yep.
all came back.
And they were
Yes.
kind of like made by women, specifically for women, like not only women, but like more sized towards women's hands and things like that. And they did a
That's
bunch
so
of like
feminist.
colors and whatnot. So they're kind of they started out that way. Now it's I wasn't really into them, so that's why I don't remember all that stuff.
I mean, like I've known of Swags for a while, and she's
Hmm.
cool and all, and like I did that little review of that CJRB you sent me
Yeah,
with
and
that
I've
little
got that one
fine print.
still. That was my swimsuit knife in Hawaii both times. You got that little pocket on the inside of your swimsuit. I
Yeah,
had to have a knife, so I put that in that little pocket because it made it in the ocean. It worked well.
yeah,
So and I
yeah.
cut the hell out of my finger with it, not in Hawaii, but I think that one I actually cut my finger on the video
Mm,
because it's so small. My hands weren't used to it. It's like this big.
yep,
The Mylea. I think it was named
yep.
for her
That is what it's
sister.
called. But I think it was one of her
I'm
friends
forgetting
or
the
something.
story now. Her friend that passed away, maybe. I don't remember the whole story. If you go watch my video, I talked about it, but that was years ago. But
Yep.
yeah, it's just so small. It kind of like cut my finger pretty good. Quiet Carry Drift was is Lord Needham's beach knife. Um, I
That's a
took
good
the
knife.
Quiet Carry Waypoint as a beach knife, also.
Yep.
Um,
I've had it. I still have a drift actually. I've had two of
All right,
them.
Colby, we'll take it out with you. Congrats again on the 50th. Thank you very much. Thanks for the giveaway. Our pleasure.
Yeah,
We'll do
absolutely.
some more giveaways. I'm just not going to do them every show. Like, I'm not going to bribe people to come. If you want to come and hang out
Mm,
with us, great. If you don't want to come and hang out with us, that's totally great too. There's a lot of other people to go hang out with. But yeah, when we get to 100, for sure, we'll do another giveaway. Maybe it's 75 episodes or randomly here and there, depending on the guests that we have. Sometimes that maker has something that he wants to give away or something too.
yeah, like last
That
time with Ed, right?
that has happened. We gave away a Red Horse Knife Works Hellraiser before, just because
Mhm.
Ed was on the show and goes, "Hey, let's do a giveaway." And so we're like, "Okay, cool."
We're like, sure.
So we'll do some random stuff here and there, but it's not going to be every time. But we do hope you come back and you got a little fun and excitement out of this and entertainment for a few minutes at least. So
Yeah, and this is on Dirk's channel, but don't forget to go to mine and subscribe to my channel as well.
yeah, please go check him out. He's starting to do some more videos. He kind of like got a little off track there for a little bit, but he's getting back into it now. So
Yeah, I actually got a video up tonight. I'm gonna do a live premiere, which means it's not live, but I'll be on there live to chat, where I
that's
do
right.
a
At 8 o'clock, eight
yep,
o'clock Pacific.
yep. I'm gonna
So
do a Glock 19 build. So I'm
hour
gonna
and a
tinker around
half.
with a gun. It's a 28-minute video, so if that's not your thing, no worries. Because it's a lot of tinkering. I did like cut out all like the BS nonsense, but I mean, I do like a lot of stuff. So
Hmm.
even though it's cut pretty short, like for what it is, it's still like, I mean, I actually show you guys how to install sites. Like I impress them on and everything
Oh, cool.
live and everything. So if you guys are curious on how to, build an upper on a Glock and just want to hang out, I'll be there at 8 p.m. But that's like in a couple hours, right? I don't know what, it's 6:30 right now, so not that long from now.
Yeah, about an hour and a half. And it's filmed, but it's live, so the comments you guys can talk amongst yourself, just like you have done over here. But if you're done with us, then go enjoy your evenings. Have a
Yeah,
great week, everybody. Come back in a couple of weeks. We'll have probably a guest in a couple of weeks. We'll figure that out,
for
and
sure.
we will keep you posted beforehand. Thanks again, everybody. We do greatly appreciate you hanging out with us for a couple hours, well, hour and a half here today. So have a great day and a great evening, and enjoy Monday. Sorry.
Yeah.